Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of Beauty Told. It's your girl Brit, and tonight I have another hot, juicy topic for you. So listen, without further ado, the breakup rules. Yes. It is time to get back into the relational tip. And what better way to do it than the breakup rules? Listen, there are rules when breaking up. There are rules that you have to follow, and it is for your own good. It is not just me getting up here talking, it is for the better of you. So, without further ado, let's get into it, y'all. And of course, my faith journal that is going to keep us on topic, keep us going in the right direction, and make sure that nothing gets left untold on Beauty Told. So, without further ado, number one, take the time you need to heal. Take the time you need to heal. This is very important because, and y'all ain't gonna like this part. Y'all ain't gonna like this part at all. But this is something that I personally have chosen to do because it helped me in the best way possible. In the time when you're healing, it is the best that you do not date anyone or talk to anyone during this season. I know it's crazy, it's far-fetched, it makes no sense. Britt, what are you talking about? Do not date anyone or talk to anyone during this season. The reason why I say this is because let's say you come right out of a fresh relationship and you go jumping talking to somebody else and dating someone else. Let's say they're really feeling you. I mean, they are really feeling you. But for yourself, this was just a way to distract your mind from the other person that you truly cared about and loved. So while this person is falling for you and falling in love, you're still stuck on what's her name or what's his name, and they're growing feelings and you're really not. We unbalanced, we not leveling out the right way. And for them, you might be turning out to be the love of their life. But on the other hand, they were more so just a rebound for you. So now they have to take an unnecessary heartache and pain because you didn't do the necessary work during your heartache and pain. Y'all get what I'm saying? It's not fair. It's like you're holding that person hostage from who they really need to be with because you didn't properly do the work to heal. Okay? Another case of horrible advice, and I have been giving this advice to my darn self, is, honey, the best way to get over somebody is to get underneath another one. Why? Why would I add an unnecessary body count? Why would you add an unnecessary body count? For what? It's just too much out here for that. I'm not about to play, what's that, Russian roulette. I'm not doing that with my life. It's not worth it when I could just do the work and be good and be the best possible version for myself for somebody else. You understand what I'm saying? So take the time that you need to heal. And I honestly take this time to analyze the breakup. Because let's be honest, it wasn't just all 100% the other person. Let's be completely honest. Let's be completely frank. It wasn't all of them. Now, it might have been majority of them now. Okay, I'm not ruling that out. But what I will say is that this is a great time when you are having to go through the healing of the breakup for you to realize what all you learned about yourself in the breakup that you could have done better. So I'm going to give y'all an example. When my marriage had to come to an end the way that it did, it wasn't pointing all the fingers at him. It wasn't. Initially, it was. I'm going to be truthful. But when I really took the time to really deep dive into it, and, you know, when I started going to counseling, when I started getting the work done internally on myself, I realized that I wasn't all that perfect either, because I did not know how to properly love this man. And without knowing how to properly love him, there was a disconnect. And the reason why I wasn't able to properly love him is because I had went through childhood trauma. I had went through my own sense of the physical, the verbal, the emotional. I can't really say the word on here, but you get what I'm saying, right? So during my childhood, I suffered through that. Not only me, but my sibling, my brother as well. And we'll probably touch on that in another episode down the road. But what I experienced during my childhood really affected how I could not properly love this man, amongst other things. But that was something when I really assessed everything, I'm like, wow, I can't really blame him. Like, he was trying. There were definitely times when he was trying, and I couldn't be able to give back the way that he was giving. So I guess you could say I was doing more taking and receiving than I was actually, giving forth. So again, it's okay to take the mirror and look at yourself and realize some things that you could have done, some flaws that you recognize that you don't want to carry on into the next relationship. Again, that's how you become a better and healthier version of yourself. So that way the proper person can be able to experience the better version of you. Well, that was good. I'm glad I got that on tape. That was good. Girl, you did that. So yes. And you can also, I would say you should also see what the other person was doing, because this is going to help you to know what your non-negotiables are. This is what's going to help create the right and healthy standard boundaries that you need going into the next relationship, the next phase in your life of, oh, no. I'm not going to tolerate A, B, and C again. Like, it's not going to happen. So this is going to help you to know what you are refusing to actually go through again. So I'm just saying, y'all, we got to do better. And to do better, we got to know better. Okay? Um, Also, just noticing the red flags. So it kind of goes into that, but just noticing the red flags. Just really noticing, um, let's see, some red flags that I pick up on really quickly is if you're really stuck and fixated on yourself. If you're so stuck and fixated on yourself, honey, child, how are you going to do anything for me? How do I become an important piece in your world if you're the center universe of your world is you? So, nah. If God is not the first and foremost in your life, then who you serving? And by who you serving, what's going to stop you from doing the unthinkable? You know what I mean? Like, who keeps you? How do you keep accountable if you don't have a God that at least keeps you aligned so that you stay on the straight and narrow? So you might go veering off to the right and to the left with this shorty and that. Nah. Mm-mm. So just recognizing some red flags, some non-negotiables for yourself. Again, it is going to better your future. Fair? Number two. I probably spent a little bit more time than I wanted to on number one, but we're going to move on to number two. Number two, plain and simple. Do not talk bad about the person to anybody. I know I'm stepping on some toes today, baby. Do not talk bad about the person, y'all. Listen, let them dig their own ditch. Don't you do it for them. When you start talking bad about this person, you make yourself seem real bitter. It makes it harder for you to get over the person if you steadily talking negative about them. That means that they still very much on your mind. They still taking up space that they don't need to be. Okay, plain and simple. They don't need to be. So you need to take the necessary steps to get over them the best way possible. And talking bad about them is solving what exactly? What is it solving? And not only that, you guys, I'm not saying you have to keep everything that you've been through bottled up inside of you. What I'm saying is trusted people, like maybe your therapist, maybe your mom, if you're very close to your mom and she's very much neutral grounds when it comes to everything, like somebody that you can be able to trust and know that they are going to have the best for you and they're going to give you the best sound advice. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can give that. So therefore, you have to be very selective of who it is that you are entrusting to tell this information to. And I don't like it when everybody is like a cheerleader for me. Let me know where I was wrong at. You know what I mean? I really can respect it more if you just kind of some like, girl, you tripping. Like, you really tripping. Like, I need that. I really do. I seek that now. Back then, you wanted people to be all on your team, and oh girl, you was right. F him and da 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 da. But when you get older, you should be more acceptable to hearing when they hear your situation. Like, okay, I feel like Bert, you could have handled it a little differently. I respect that more. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna give you that as well. You may not want to hear it, but I'm gonna give it to you, and that's just what it is. Now, listen, when you're not talking about them, what's going to end up happening is others will figure it out. You know what I mean? Others will figure it out. Now, I'm gonna give you another example. Me and all my examples, but I think that we got to make it plain. Even the Bible says, make it plain. So when my marriage was coming to an end, right? There was a lot of things that hit the fan. One of the biggest probably pieces was that I found out that he was expecting a child, right? With him expecting a child, it was made very publicly. Now, not necessarily for me, because I had been like stalking the other woman's, Instagram and whatnot for my own peace. Okay. And and I forgot to mention that in the first example of healing. If you need to unfollow that person, unfollow that person. I had to unfollow my ex-husband at that time. During the time when he was going through his affair, I had to unfollow the guy that I told y'all in the previous episode that I thought was the one. Like, for my own personal healing and being able to move on, I had to unfollow so that way I don't get triggered or I don't fall into the trap of stalking their social medias. So if I block them, if they're out of sight, they're out of mind. And for me, that was very helpful. So just throwing that little tidbit out there, that little extra piece. So when it comes to, so when it came down to, it became public on her page or whatever, her social media, and of course, what's done in the dark will come to light, y'all. So, and it did. Um, I learned about that long time ago. I learned about that way before it even hit the social media outlets. I learned about it, and once I did, I never once spoke about it to anybody. So my family and my friends were oblivious to what was going on. I never once got on social media and went on a rant and rave about it. I never once took the information, screenshotted it, and posted it on my page, or just tried to, just do the most. I never said a mumbling word. I never said a mumbling word. I took it on the chin. I accepted it, and eventually it had to come out. You can't hide a whole baby, especially once the baby hits the world. Like, you can't hide it. So eventually, family and friends of his was gonna learn. I just didn't feel like it was my responsibility for it to come from me. What good would it do coming from me when it technically doesn't have any involvement of me? You know what I'm saying? So again, that was just a way where once it hit, the information hit everyone, I'm not looking like the bad person. In fact, it's like, wow, she never said anything. Like, I'm actually looking like the person who's level headed, the person who is like, we feel bad for her because, of all what happened. And wow, like, we never knew that she was going through this. And again, it makes me, I won't say I don't look like the victim per se, but it made him kind of look like the bad person. And I didn't have to say anything. The sweetest revenge, I guess you can say in this case, was that there was no revenge on my end. I didn't say anything. It all came out the way it needed to. So again, you don't have to do all that. What I will say too is if you need to, you can also take the necessary steps to not only unfollow the person that you're trying to get over, unfollow the people that, is tending to maybe side with that person who's steadily posting, your ex. And again, for your mental health, for your emotional stability, it's just best that you do not even entertain it by constantly seeing it in your face. So if you need to, unfollow, associates, family, and friends that, are putting that person on there. You don't need that. When you're trying to get over somebody, you do not need constant reminders of that person. You don't. And if you need to go into your phone, and this may take some time to get to this point, but go through your phone and start stripping it out of those memories. I'm telling you, because you can get into a real sunken place by indulging into the past, digging back into the past. So I'm telling you guys only because of experience, not even just experience from myself, experience from family and friends that, have also had to go through their own share of heartache and pain. And eventually you'll get to the better side of it. I promise you, you will. But you have to do necessary steps to get there. It don't happen where it go from 0 to 100 real quick like that. It don't. I'm going to say that lastly, one of the things that really truly helped me was prayer. Prayer. Jesus, God. I needed him because there was some really dark days, y'all. And I'm not going to fake the funk. There was some dark days when I was at my lowest of lows. And when I say lowest of lows, I mean truly was in a depressing state at some points. Truly was at a not so stable mentality where I'm ready to unalive myself. So there were definitely some periods and moments where I didn't know where else to go. I didn't have anyone to really talk to. All I had was him. And when I tell you that in the darkest hours, that's what I needed. I would either be led into a scripture, I would be led into maybe a sermon, I would be led into maybe a Instagram or a TikTok, short or reel, and it would bring me back. It would reel me back in, y'all. Because this is when the enemy wants to prey on you. And prey on you, PREY, and take full advantage of you being at your low state. But this is also the time where God gets to shine and be able to show that he is in full control of everything. So I will tell you this, mainly when I was going through the ending of my marriage is when I was going through this the most. I have it journaled, y'all. I have it journaled. When I tell y'all, sometimes it is very traumatic. Sometimes reading some of what I went through. I mean, I went through some really, really bad spaces in my life. I don't regret any of it though. Because again, if it can be a story told on Beauty Told to help somebody else, it was all worth every day that I had to go through. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So prayer works, y'all. Prayer works. It may not work when you want it to. It may not be on your timing, but it's on the perfect timing of the Lord. So trust me when I say just continue to do what you need to do. And I promise you that days, weeks, months, eventually you're going to get to day 91 and it's not going to feel like day 5. It's not going to feel like, whew, probably day 1 is the worst day you feel. But day 5, day 10, you kind of feeling it a little bit. You give it some time and eventually you're going to be all right. You're going to be even better when you find that person. It's going to be like, Jimmy who? Sally who? Okay. And by no means, no offense to Jimmy and Sally. Love y'all too. One of the important pieces that I meant to kind of interject into here as well is please do not just ghost somebody, guys. In the world that we're living in today, please don't ghost anybody. Okay, no one deserves to be ghosted. Okay, now part of the breakup means that there was really an actual breakup, not just you ceasing to talk to this person and communicate with this person. So let's be mature about things, and let's just let the person down easy. If it's not working out, if you know things are not aligning correctly, if you know that this person is not the person you're meant to be with forever, just give it to them plain. You know, rip the band-aid off, like they like to say. Don't don't torment somebody in that way. It's not right. And I'm not going to say that I have been perfect at that. I think there has been a person that I kind of just stopped talking to, but I was always open door. You know, I think when that gentleman called me back, that I, you know, explained, I just had a lot going on, and it just became too much to try to balance at that time. So now I'm able to just be honest and upfront about things. I'm learning to be more real. Um, I will say that I also, during the time when I was like healing, whether it was during the ending of my marriage or when I thought I had found the one, when I needed that healing, I really was honest with guys that were trying to talk to me. And I'm like, I appreciate you. I appreciate you reaching out. I appreciate you wanting to take me on a date. But right now, I am not in a place right now where I can give my all to you. I really need to take the necessary time for me to become what I need to be and to get over the person I was previously with. So, out of respect for you, I'm not going to do that to you because I can't. If I can't give all of me to you, it's not fair. It's not fair and it's not right. I just need the necessary time to get myself together, and we can see maybe at a later time. You know, so that was just my way of just being respectful of the person, because if I'm going to really go in and date, I'm intentionally dating. Okay, let's make that plain and simple. I'm not here to casually date. I really don't like to date multiple people. But when I'm dating, I want to give my all. That's what I do in general with everything. I want to give my all. When I started this podcast, I wanted to give my all. I am giving my all. Let's be clear. And when it comes to dating, I give my all. When it comes to my job, my 9 to 5 right now, until I can finally be able to walk away, I give my all. So I give my all to everything, anything and everything. So nobody, nothing and nobody is left out. Okay. So you guys, I hope this helped. I hope this helped. I hope this helped. I really did need to get this out here. The breakup rules is very important because, again, I think that if we all take these principles and really apply them, there will be so much better people out here to be able to find the better person and partner that is meant to be. Okay, so this opens up space and availability for the right person. Okay, listen, if you guys are loving what you're hearing, please don't hesitate. Hit that subscribe button right there. Don't hesitate. Just takes like not even 3 seconds. Just boop, and you're done. For those who have been rocking with me, who have been liking, who have been sharing, who have been viewing, who have been commenting, I appreciate y'all so very, very much from the bottom of my heart. Every new subscriber, I'm grateful, because I'm not at 1 or 10 or 20 anymore. I am steadily seeing that more and more people are appreciating what I'm putting out there. So that makes it just well worth it. You know what I mean? To find my purpose and be able to be living in my purpose is a wonderful experience. Nothing that I take lightly. I am grateful. I am always so grateful. So listen, y'all already know I love you guys so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And until next time, let's make a change.